Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing great. Happy Sunday. It's football time, baby. 15 matchups. Going to be a really great day here. Very excited for the football season. Going to be covering NFL all season long. So go ahead and stay tuned for that. And going to get started here. A lot of good action on the board. Go ahead and like and subscribe, guys. Support the channel. Check out all my links in the description below. Really good promo codes and bookie offers to get you guys ready to go for these games and start betting this weekend. And yeah, we're going to hop into it. A lot of good action, starting with the Arizona Cardinals versus the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee opening up as 3-point favorites with the over-under at 53.5. You can get Tennessee on the money line at minus 150, Arizona plus 140. Head-to-head, Arizona 3-2. All these teams only played each other 5 times. Arizona holds that record 3-2 in those meetings. Arizona, end of the season struggling covering the spread, just 2-7 covering the spread in their last 9. Ended the season 2-5 in their last 7. Kind of stunk it up last season. 5-1 covering the spread in their last 6 games against Tennessee. 4-2 in their last 6 against Tennessee. Tennessee 2-4 covering in their last 6. 13-7 in their last 20. Coming off a really great season for Tennessee. Adding some new weapons, getting Julio Jones, which is only going to boost their offense. This offense is loaded. Derrick Henry should be able to run all over this Cardinals D. Tannehill has another weapon, with A.J. Brown and Julio. We'll see about the tight end, losing Jonnu Smith. He was a big help last year, but I think Ferguson should be fine. Arizona, they got Kyler Murray, D-Hop, and A.J. Green added another weapon. Brought in J.J. Watt on defense to help a little bit. Going to be a tough matchup here. I like Tennessee minus 3. I like Tennessee on the money line. I just think their offense is better. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough trying to stop Derrick Henry. And when you do, you have 2 elite receivers on both sides and a really great quarterback in Tannehill. I think it's going to be tough for this Cardinals team in a small spread. I'm going to take Tennessee minus 3 and on the money line. Next matchup, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Houston Texans. Jags opening up as 3-point favorites with the over-under at 45.5. Jacksonville, horrible last season. 0-10 in their last 10. 0-6 against Houston. They have struggled against Houston. 0-9 on the road. Look, we know how bad Jacksonville was last season. Pretty much retooled their whole offense and defense. Got Trevor Lawrence, got Urban Meyer. We're going to see how this Jacksonville team responds and how they play under the new head coach. Houston, 0-5 in their last 5, dating back to last year. 6-1 at home against Jacksonville. Look, Houston's going to be a very bad football team. Really, it's going to be tough to bet on them. Jaguars should be better, but who knows about Jaguars? Losing ETN. Their defense really isn't all that great either. I like the Jags in this game. I think Trevor Lawrence should have a good game. Houston's just got so many question marks all over the board. Tyrod Taylor's not much of a thrower and doesn't really have any weapons to throw it to besides Brandon Cooks. I think it's going to be tough for this Houston team to get points. I like the Jags minus 3. And the Jags, you can get them on the money line at minus 155. Going to roll with Jacksonville. Next matchup, we have the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Washington football team. Washington opening up as 1-point favorites with the over-under at 44.5. You can get Washington on the money line at minus 105. Chargers plus 100. Yeah, Chargers really, end of the season really strong last season with that win to the Chiefs, a dominant win against the Chiefs. Herbert, really great quarterback, has a lot of promise. Loaded offense, with Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, really solid defense as well. Chargers 4-1 in their last 5, 4-1 against Washington, 4-1 covering the spread in their last 5. Washington 6-2 covering the spread in their last 8, 7-13 in their last 20. Washington, getting Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's going to actually get to play with some weapons with Terry McLaurin and Antonio Gibson. And they got a really stellar front line on the defense as well. Should be a fun battle here. Obviously, this is kind of a biased pick, but not But either way, Chargers are my NFL team. I'm a big Chargers fan. Rolling with the Chargers. Chargers are getting insane value on the money line, plus 100. With the really great offense and defense, I think it's going to be a fun matchup. And only a 1-point spread. Getting the Chargers at +1, I think is a good deal. Buy 2 points, add them to a teaser, get them at +3 is a really good value. Pretty solid as well. I'm taking the Chargers in this matchup. All right, next matchup, we have the Minnesota Vikings versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Minnesota opening up as 3-point favorites with the over-under at 47. Minnesota struggled covering the spread last season, 0-7 in their last 7 covering the spread. 1-6 on the road against the Bengals. Very interesting stat there. I don't know why they struggled against Cincinnati. Cincinnati, very bad last season. 3-9 in their last 12 to close the season. 6-1 in their last 7 games at home against Minnesota. That's just a surprising stat for me. Joe Burrow coming back from his injury. He's got a loaded offense, a lot of good weapons. Defense, very bad defense. Really no improvements to the defensive side for the Bengals here. I just think this is such a small spread for this game here. I love the Vikings -3. I just feel like they should be around 7-8 points. I mean, they're not going to be able to stop Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, and Thielen. I think they should all be able to have field days on this defense. Taking the Vikings -3. Next matchup, we have the New York Jets versus the Carolina Panthers. Carolina opening up as 4-point favorites with the over-under at 45. Jets, I mean, we all know how bad the Jets were last year. It was kind of embarrassing to even watch them. 2-14 in their last 16. 1-7 on the road. Got their quarterback in Zach Wilson. We'll see how he does. I mean, they really don't have a featured running back. Very limited pass catching options besides Corey Davis. Questionable offensive line. Carolina 4-2 covering the spread in their last 6. 2-9 in their last 11. They struggled as well. Carolina getting Christian McCaffrey back, fully healthy. Sam Darnold in a new environment, coming to a place where he has pass catchers like Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore, and an elite running back, and a somewhat decent defense. Not a horrible defense as the Jets are. I like Carolina -4 here. I'm going to roll with the Panthers. Next matchup, we have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta opening up as 3.5-point favorites with the over-under at 48.5. You can get the Falcons -175 on the money line. Philly +160. Philly, 1-7 in their last 8 games. 0-6 covering the spread on the road. So not a very good road team. Atlanta 0-5 in their last 5. 2-6 at home. I mean, both teams were very bad last season. Very bad defenses. I really don't love this matchup. It's going to be tough. Jalen Hurts doesn't have too many weapons in that offense. Has a rookie in Devontae Smith. We'll see what happens with him. Defense is very questionable. Atlanta, first time without Julio. We'll see how they operate. Luckily, Matt Ryan still got targets with Calvin Ridley. And their newly, drafted tight end, Kyle Pitts. We'll see how he works in the offense. Defense should be a little bit better than last season, but still nothing that great. I like the Falcons -3.5. I just think they have more weapons. I trust Matt Ryan more than I do Jalen Hurts. We'll see how Hurts acts in his first, real game as a starter to start the year. I'm going to take the Falcons -3.5. We'll take them on the money line as well. Next matchup, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo opening up as 6.5-point favorites with the over-under at 48. You can get Buffalo on the money line at -275. The Steelers +245. Pitt 10-3 covering the spread in their last 13 games against Buffalo. 10-3 against Buffalo. They've had really great success against Buffalo. Buffalo, unbelievable team last year. 8-1 in their last 9. 9-2 covering the spread in their last 11. High expectations for this Buffalo Bills team. Phenomenal last year. Pittsburgh has got a lot of question marks this year, Got rid of a lot of their linemen. Got a young, new, fresh offensive line. Defense is still elite. Really great defense. Really good pass catchers, though. Big Ben's back healthy. Really good pass catchers with Deontay, Juju, and Chase Claypool. Should be a fun one here, with the Bills Didn't really address their running needs, so they're going to be a passing team with Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley. Brought in Emmanuel Sanders, which I think will definitely help their pass catchers a little bit. Tough game here, man. I could really see this game going either way. If I had to put my money on it, though, I like the Bills more. Only -6.5. I think they can sneak out a touchdown and win. It's going to be a tough matchup. Wouldn't shock me if the Steelers do cover here, because both defenses are really good. But I'm going to take the Bills. I just like their offense better. I'm going to take Buffalo -6.5. Take them on the money line as well. All right, next matchup, we have the San Francisco 49ers versus the Detroit Lions. 49ers opening up as 8.5-point favorites with the over-under at 46. You can get San Francisco on the money line at -355. Detroit +315. The Niners, 10-1 in their last 11 games against Detroit. 12-5 on the road. 4-2 covering the spread against Detroit. I mean, they've had pure dominance against Detroit here. Detroit, going to be a very bad team this year. No offensive weapons. Very bad defense. It's going to be a tough year for Detroit fans. Sorry. 1-6 in their last 7. 1-11 at home. I don't know where they're going to get their offense. It's going to be very tough against this 49ers defense. Taking 49ers -8.5 and add them to those moneyline parlays. Next matchup, we have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Indianapolis Colts. The Seahawks opening up as 3-point favorites with the over-under at 49. Seattle, they've struggled covering against Indianapolis. 3-6 covering the spread against the Colts. 0-5 covering on the road. Not a very good road team covering the spread. Indy, 11-5 in their last 16. 5-0 covering against the NFC. Should be a fun game here. We know Carson Wentz is starting for the Colts. We'll see how he plays. Didn't have a good year last year. He's definitely got some weapons, but they're without T.Y. Hilton. Got a lot of running backs and a really good defense. It's a tough matchup here, but I just like the Seahawks. I just think they have a much better offense, way more options. I like Russell Wilson in this matchup. Only on a 3-point spread. I'm going to roll with the Seahawks here. Next matchup, we have the Cleveland Browns versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs opening up as 5.5-point favorites with the over-under at 54.5. Cleveland, coming off that loss to Kansas City last year, 22-17, very close game there. Cleveland, 12-5 in their last 17. They've struggled against the Chiefs here, just 1-5 in their last 6 against Kansas City. This is a crazy stat, but the Chiefs are just 9-1 covering the spread in their last 11 games. They just had high spreads, and they just weren't able to cover, but they were able to win. 12-2 in their last 14. I mean, this is an elite Kansas City offense. It's going to be a tough matchup here for both sides. I think Cleveland's going to be able to run the ball on them, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to keep up offensively. It's going to be tough. Hard to not go the Chiefs here. Rolling with the Chiefs -5.5. I think they can definitely win by a touchdown. I think Mahomes should be able to get off on a roll with his offensive weapons. Rolling with the Chiefs, and we're taking the Chiefs on the money line. Next matchup, we have the Denver Broncos versus the New York Giants. Denver opening up as 3-point favorites with the over-under at 41.5. You can get the Broncos on the money line at -150. The Giants +140. Denver, 1-5 in their last 6, 1-4 on the road. Yeah, Denver wasn't that good last year. Getting some defensive pieces back, new quarterback in Bridgewater, and they're getting Cortland Sutton back. I think their offense should be definitely a lot better than it was last season. Giants, it looks like they're going to get Saquon back, so that's going to help them a lot. Going to be tough though. Very bad, not the best defense. Questionable offensive line. 2-4 covering the spread in their last 6. A small spread, a game I really don't like here. I'm going to take Denver. I just think they have a better defense and more options on offense. I'm going to roll with the Broncos here. All right, next matchup, we have the Green Bay Packers versus the New Orleans Saints. The Packers opening up as 3.5-point favorites with the over-under at 49.5. Packers 7-1 in their last 8. really good success against the Saints here, 13-7 in their last 20 meetings with New Orleans, 2-5 covering the spread against the Saints. So they've looked really good against New Orleans. The Saints 8-2-1 against the spread in their last 11, 12-3 in their last 15. It's going to be a new era for the Saints here. No Drew Brees, Jameis Winston getting the start. We'll see how well he plays. Missing some offensive weapons, no Michael Thomas, no Traquan Smith. Marcus Callaway is the only real receiver on this roster. They do have Kamara. They did cut Latavius Murray, so a lot of question marks on this offense for the Saints here. Still have a really solid defense. Packers, got Aaron Rodgers back, Devontae, Aaron Jones. Their offense is great. Offensive line is going to be a question mark for the Packers this whole season. Now, David Bakhtiari out for a little bit. Got rid of their center, got rid of pieces on that offensive line, and I think it's going to be tough for the Packers. We'll see how they do this season. I'm sure Aaron will be fine, but I think he's going to get a lot more pressure and sacked a lot more than he has been in the past this season. I like the Packers, though. I think the offense is better in this matchup. Going to take the Packers -3.5 here. Next matchup, we have the Miami Dolphins versus the New England Patriots. Patriots opening up as 3-point favorites with the over-under at 43.5. You can get the Patriots on the money line at -155, Miami +155. Miami 9-3 covering the spread in their last 12. 7-13 in their last 20 games against the Patriots. 1-11 on the road against New England. Miami coming off, last season got that New England win 22-12 last season. Looked really good in that game. They always play the Patriots really well, especially the last few years. Patriots 14-6 at home. Yeah, no Cam Newton. Going to be the Mac Jones era. We're going to see how he responds. He's definitely got a lot of offensive weapons, some good tight ends, good receivers, pretty solid running backs. So he's going into a good situation. Miami just plays. They play the Patriots really tough. Tua is going to have his real first year of starting. Let's hope he can have a better year. Miami's got a great defense. He has his own weapons, not the best offensive weapons, but he still has some talent around him. Yeah, I like the Dolphins +3 here. They play the Patriots really good. It's always crazy every year. The last few years, Miami's really come up with some wins against New England. And I like New England, I like the Dolphins +3 here. I think it's going to be a close game. Going to take Miami. Then the last matchup is a Sunday night game. We have the Chicago Bears versus the Los Angeles Rams. Rams opening up as 7.5-point favorites with the over-under at 46.5. Chicago 3-6 covering the spread in their last 9, 3-8 in their last 11. They kind of very bad Chicago team last season. The Rams really great, 13-5 in their last 18 at home against Chicago. They've been dominant against Chicago here. Getting an upgrade at quarterback in Stafford. Really great receiving core with Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. I just think, and they have that elite defense with Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. It's going to be tough for the Bears here, especially with Dalton at quarterback. Going to be a tough matchup for the Bears. Just really is. They don't have the best defense either. Defense not like it usually is. I just think the Rams are going to be able to handle them on both sides of the ball here. Taking the Rams -7.5. Take them on the money line. Add them to a parlay. And that's going to be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Good luck with your picks and parlays on Sunday, and I'll see you guys Monday. Have a good one.